What's going on, everyone? It's Flipacoin, and welcome back to Nexus Chatter. Today I'm here with Kenma Buechter. Kenma, for anyone who might not be familiar with who you are, can you give us a little bit of a history on your time in HOTS esports, as you're one of the more veteran players that currently exists in the scene?
For sure. Let's see. So I started playing this game after I was done coaching league. I was looking for something to do after it didn't work out for me getting back into the league scene. So my roommate suggested to check out Heroes of the Storm because he thought it was going to blow up, and it was the new MOBA, and I've always enjoyed Blizzard games. So I checked it out, and my brother Zuna started playing it. I started playing it. We were having a good time playing it, and then after playing it for a while, I got asked to join C9 like last minute, and we won the first BlizzCon exhibition tournament, and I've been playing ever since then.
Good stuff. And for that exhibition tournament, was that just one Cloud9 roster at that point?
Yes.
Okay, and then shortly after it split to Maelstrom Vortex?
Yeah, it was me, iDream, Zuna, Jinte, and Bobby Hank Hill, and then we split up, and then me and Zuna picked up Dunk Train, Biceps, and Caffeine from Liquid, and that became Maelstrom. And then iDream and Bobby made Vortex. And
Right.
the players show.
And Bobby retired a little while ago, right?
Yeah.
Has he been doing anything at this point, or is he just done with esports?
I'm pretty sure he's done with esports at the moment. I haven't talked to him in a while, but from like his updates and stuff that I've seen on Facebook, I don't think he's playing games right now.
Okay. Was just curious. I haven't heard that name in so long, up until right now. Recently traveled to Korea for the Spring Global, and unfortunately, it didn't necessarily work out super favorably for you guys, but you ended up being knocked out early. But since then, a little more change happened. Urho was removed from the team. He was replaced by Big Impact, and I know it's been talked about by a couple of people thus far, but can I kind of get your take on everything Spring Global, roster swap, the whole
Sure.
big ordeal?
Let's start with the tournament in Korea. We honestly we weren't prepared enough as any of us would have liked to been. I think there was like Urho said, McIntyre took a vacation like 3 weeks out. Like he took like a 1 week vacation, and we barely. I think we scrimmed like 3 times that week. So like that hit us hard, and then we just honestly just didn't. We weren't prepared enough. We didn't get to do a boot camp, so it was just. It wasn't it wasn't a really great situation going into the tournament. I still feel like we even with all that said, I still think we underperformed. I think we were just based on the scrims that we had against TNL and eStar, we were very on like an equal like footing with them, and I think we could have at the worst, I think we should have performed top 6 and maybe got top 4 of that tournament if we played better. But it was really bad luck too. I actually went into the tournament sick. I was sick I had a cold for about like 4 days before the trip. I had to fly to Korea with a cold, and then Zuna actually got my cold like the second day of the tournament, and he's a shot caller, and he lost his voice. It was just it was a really bad situation, but it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
it does.
oh yeah, so with Urho, it's been said before, it wasn't a skill thing. It had nothing to do with his skill as a player. It was just like how he was acting in game, and it happened a few times, and the team voted him out, and that's pretty much the short story
Okay.
for that. And then for Biggie, I've known Biggie for quite a while. He came from the league scene, and I've talked to him ever since I started playing league. I didn't know him in league, but I've known him in the hot scene for a long time, and he was, like we didn't like, I don't know if people know this, but we didn't replay, like when we had the whole thing with Urho. We didn't have Biggie like on board to join. After it was decided that Urho was going to leave, then excuse me. Then we just talked as a team, and we were like, okay, what players do we need to try to get right now? And then Biggie was at the top of our list, and then we contacted him, and it worked out. So it wasn't like we already had him on board ready to replace him. It was like it's something that happened after.
Right. So it just kind of conveniently, fluidly shifted into
Yeah.
what we got now for the roster.
Yeah, and Biggie wasn't like we didn't buy Biggie away. He wasn't contracted or anything. So like we didn't
Right,
we
right.
didn't Yankees him. You know, like some people think.
Gotcha. Okay, that's definitely good to hear, and hopefully that clears up a lot of, I guess, the whole deal around that situation. One last question on that matter. Supposedly it was put to a vote when Urho was removed, and obviously there was reason for it. It worked out. He's with Tempo Storm now. Everything is settled on that issue, but there was a lot of talk about how the vote was a majority rules type of thing, and there was talk saying that you and Zuna had opposed Urho's removal in that vote. Is that true, or is that just talk?
It was more of like, so there's 6 people that get a vote. I'm not going to go into who it is and why, but
Right, of course.
4 people already voted for him to go. So my and Zuna vote had no impact, so we just didn't even vote. That's how it went.
Okay, fair enough. Makes sense. So, talking a little more about Korea, you guys picked up Wiz as a coach just for the event, or is he now a coach in general for you guys?
Well, it was originally just for the event, and I think we really liked what he did in his knowledge of the game and the Korean meta and all that like insider info that he was bringing to us. But I don't know if it's going to be able to continue because he's in Korea. It costs a lot to get visas, and I don't know how. It honestly it depends on if the org wants to put in that money to even look at that option moving forward. I'm not sure. I just don't know if it's like even if he's an amazing coach, I don't know if it's worth it with the money that's in the scene right now.
Right.
Like
Fair enough.
if he was living in America, we would have him coaching right now for sure.
Right, different story.
If he wanted to, obviously, but yeah.
Okay. So, as far as continued work with him, it's up in the air, could happen. We'll see where it's at as time goes on.
Yeah, we don't know which way it's going. So
Okay, good stuff. I mean, Wiz seems great. It seems like he could have a really positive impact on the NA scene and making it even more competitive. So I hope that in the future that could work out. But despite the little patch of drama that surrounded all things Korean Global, looking ahead, the future is here. We are looking at DreamHack Austin, which, if I'm correct, is the first North American DreamHack event.
I believe so. I've been in esports for a long time, and this is the first one that I can remember in the States.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this, and there's also Toronto that's going on this year. Some Canadian event, I believe. But the big tagline for those was, these are like the first North American events for DreamHack, which is awesome. So you guys did qualify. Are you excited to be a part of this event?
Yeah, definitely. I'm
I'm
excited to play at any LAN event as long as it's, as long as it's worth going to, obviously.
Right. This definitely seems like one of the more worthwhile of the bunch.
Definitely.
What's the plan for this one? How do you think you guys are going to fare? I know all the standings are out right now as far as qualification. Do you think since it's NA, do you think it's going to be the you and Cloud9 in top 2 type deal? Do you think you're going to win this event?
I think it will almost 100% be us and Cloud9 1 and 2 again. If someone gave me money to bet on myself, I'd bet that us and C9 are top 2. I think as long as we go in playing well, I think we are a strong contender for first, and that's pretty much it. I don't know who's going to get third and fourth. It doesn't really matter to me because I don't care about it.
Makes sense. Eye on the prize, I guess. It's a good way to look at it. So, when you look at your team and how it kind of came together, as well as look at other like big esports titles like League and Dota, sometimes you'll have these super group teams that come together. Look at this season splits TSM. It's this super group monster. People sometimes kind of say the same thing about what is Naventic now and what Bob Ross was. You all kind of came together as seasoned players in the hero scene and made one team, and have since, aside from Korea, came in and pretty much just stomped everything. You've performed at, to my knowledge, just about every event at very high standing. But again, you're dealing with veterans and people who are long-standing in the scene. Are there ever conflicts of ego and kind of methodology on how to play and win the game? And if so, how do you guys tackle conflicts like that?
I think our team has a lot. Like everyone on our team has an ego, I think, but like I don't think it's necessarily. A lot of people think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing to have an ego and be confident in yourself, but like you just can't let it. You can't let it hinder yourself from growing and becoming better as a player and a teammate. Like the way that we handle it is that like pretty much whenever we go through a situation, we'll just decide as a team like, okay, if that happens, how do we want to do it next time? How do we want to handle the same situation next time? How do we want to play as a team? How do we want to do this and that? And we just talk about it, and then it usually comes down to like whatever. We'll talk about it, and then usually Zuna will get the final say because he's the shot caller, and we go through stuff like really in depth and try to figure out how it's going to work best for our team and how we play.
Okay, makes sense. And with all that said, how has Biggie kind of been falling into the mix of things as the newest and like most recent of players?
I think he's fit in really fast. I think his play style it works really well because he plays he plays like a lot of the heroes that like Fan's more of a mage player, I'd say,
Hmm.
and Biggie's really good on the more like 80 centric type range assassins. So like it's really been a good fit for our team. And he's just fit in really quick. He put
That's great
like
to hear.
yeah. It's been a good fit.
Awesome. That's very good to hear. So it seems like everything as far as Naventic goes for the time being is really stable and looking up, and that's awesome to hear. So I wanted to talk briefly kind of about you as a player. Comparatively, if you look at a couple other players in the scene, we'll say Glaurung, an example, who's like notably young. You're by no means old, obviously, but on the older side for competitive players and kind of most of the esports scene.
Hmm.
So looking back at Cloud9 Vortex disbanding, you stepped away from the game for a couple of months. Do you think that Naventic is your final destination as a competitive player, or do you feel if hypothetically Naventic went under tomorrow and the team disbanded, do you feel you would continue for any extended period of time past that? You also have a history of coaching. I know you coached for Vulcan in League, and as coaches become higher priority in the hot scene in North America, do you think that's a position you'd want to take up further along in your career?
Honestly, the when I first started playing with C9 and stuff, I was talking about like how like if better players join the game or whatever or whatnot, like maybe some like top league caliber players like Zuna level, then at that point I'd probably step away from the game and then start coaching. But no one at that level's joined the game. So like I feel personally that I'm the best support player in NA. So I have no reason to want to quit playing the game when I can play it better than everyone else. So that's just my thoughts on it. Like once I'm hindering the team because I'm not good enough, that's when I'll look to either step back into like a coaching position, management position, something like that, or do something else.
Okay, that makes sense. And that actually kind of sparks a question in my mind. You talk about how you fare against, say, the rest of North America and even the rest of the teams globally in terms of skill, and how you haven't seen so many individuals like Zuna pop into the game who are coming in with like an inherent high level of skill in, I guess we could say, the MOBA world.
Genre, yeah.
Yeah. So with that said, do you feel that that not happening hinders the competitive growth and competitive potential for the scene, or do you think it helps it and gives fresh, I guess, talent and players more time to kind of work on themselves and grind up?
Well, I think the way that it is now, I don't think you're ever going to see like this isn't the kind of game where one solo person can come in and just like play Hero League only by himself and then become good and then join a top team. It doesn't work like that in this game. You need to know people or you need to have people teach you the game because it's such a team-based game compared to Dota and League. Like those games you could literally play Hero League and then be scouted by a top team and play on it. But in this game it does not work like that. You need to learn the ins and outs of all the maps, all the heroes, and it's just so strange and different compared to the other MOBAs because it's so team based and you share levels and no items. It's so different. So I think that I personally don't think that anyone's just going to come into the game without any experience from other games and just be like a god player. I don't think that's realistic. I think that maybe if like top league players wanted to come into the game, they could come in and do work if they want to put in the time and someone was giving them the opportunity to like teach them that's already a top player, then maybe it could work. Because if you look at like in NA, C9 in our team, let's see. I don't think Mac played League competitively. Fan was a StarCraft player, I believe, and then so Zuna's obviously a competitive League player. Biggie was a competitive League player. I was a competitive League player, and then you look at C9, Arthlon, iDream. They were Arthlon, iDream, K1 Pro were all competitive League players.
Yeah.
And Caf and Dunk were League players. I don't think they played competitively, so they all have backgrounds. They didn't just jump into this game like brand new. So I don't
Right.
think I don't think it's gonna happen like in a league or in and I do like personally. I like how it does give like it gives fans and the players like a more opportunity to like to grow and build a fan base and like support your teams that you like and the players that you like and they can become veterans and whatnot instead of like going the league route or the StarCraft route and then just having like every team just like start buying Koreans and bringing them in. That's boring to me. I don't want to see that. Like if I want to watch the Koreans play, I'll watch OGN. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to watch foreigners play in an A. That's just not that makes no sense to me. Like I don't want to see that. It takes away all the hype from the international events too. Like it doesn't make sense to me. So
Yeah, it kind of muddies the whole perception of one region's strength versus another
exactly.
because you have teams kind of being carried by these players that are just exponentially better than the rest of their team.
Exactly. Like look at these league teams. Like they wouldn't do anything without some of these foreigner players on some of the top teams. Like it's come like League of Legends has become just like you have to buy to win now. Like that's just how the game is now.
It's almost as if as their scene became equipped with more money in terms of spending and contracts and what they could get out of players, immediately came more foreign players onto these teams and these like crazier star rosters.
Yeah, absolutely. Like after the whole debacle with the 5 Chinese team, like they changed it to 2 foreigners per team since then. But it's still like almost every top team has 2 foreigners now. Like almost every single one.
Absolutely, they all take that rule to their advantage. Like they will make it happen. There will be 2 at the least. I think it's just a part of drafting a new team. Like if you want to become an emerging, I guess, new team or brand in the League of Legends esports world, I feel like the first thing they're thinking of is like, well, how are we going to balance domestic and foreign talent here? Who are we going to take who's free at a foreign level? And I'm thankful that that's not an issue in this game. But that does lead me to ask, do you think it will happen eventually?
If honestly, it just depends. It all depends on Blizzard if they'll allow it to happen or not. I mean, I think they did a really bad job in StarCraft to where they just let Koreans dominate everything.
Yeah.
It's like, but like this is a team game, so hopefully they don't allow that to happen. I mean, I can only hope.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fingers crossed on that. And I think having people like an example, see Steve having some say in how things work, I guess functionality-wise for HOTS Esports will be a good thing for issues like that. I hope that having someone like him, an example, who has knowledge of, I guess, the issues of other worlds of esports could potentially like preemptively pull the brakes on something like that so we don't have an issue of like foreign talent overrunning domestic talent.
Another thing was that how they have leagues, like they have the the NALCS and each region has their own thing. Like it's nice how it's I did like the stability of the the paychecks from that. Like I'm not gonna lie, but I see no point to allow foreigners to play on other region teams when you have so many international tournaments like they're doing in Blizzard right now. Like it doesn't make sense. Like maybe if they set up leagues in the future, then it that's when obviously the leagues come in, more money will come into the scene, and then you could think about it. But right now, it makes no sense. Like the scene is way too young. Like teams don't even have coaches yet. So like, why are you thinking about bringing in foreign players? It wouldn't make sense to me. But.
Right. I agree with that. And that actually leads me to another question. Would you prefer down the line, say HOTS doubles in popularity 2 years from now? So everything we got right now times 2. Would you prefer that we are in a league and split system? Like Smite took to that system very quickly. Smite has their spring and summer splits, their worlds, same way League does it. Would you want HOTS to do that, or would you want us to continue having multiple global competitions, these kind of like 3-month, we'll say, like spring, summer, BlizzCon breakups between events?
I'd prefer the leagues, the seasons, because it's more stability for the teams and the team players, and it's more money. It's more money for everyone in the scene. So like when, say for example, like obviously I doubt Blizzard would do it how Riot does it, but I honestly I don't know if Riot changed how they did it, but at least for the first 2 seasons they did it so every team got a set amount from Riot that was exactly the same. So like if there's 8 teams in the LCS, they each get paid the same amount for their play and then you have the team owner gets that set amount, and then they have to give they have a minimum amount that they have to give each player. So it's really good for the players to be making like a steady amount of money.
Minimum salary.
Even if you're the worst team and you don't win a game, you're still making the same money as the first place team.
Right.
Before playoff money and whatnot, just off of salary, which I think is great for the scene stability. It's just like it's the same thing as I don't know. Obviously, I don't know how they pay people in like the NBA and stuff, but I'm guessing like you still get paid a decent amount even if you're the worst player on the Lakers or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are minimum salaries for different. I think it might be different by team, but in general, like organization wide, there are minimum salary caps for what everyone's getting paid. So obviously, star players at that point will receive more, and like you said, worst player on the Lakers is still going to get something. He's still going to have a livable wage to work with. Which I think would be great for this game, and I think ultimately it might be a shift that has to happen for growth, because a lot of talk right now, I guess, among the scene as a whole is like, some people just kind of feel like HOTS is like stunted in growth right now. Because like there are awesome global events happening right now, but people kind of feel like it's a little lackluster in between, and obviously there's open tournaments, we just had the DreamHack qualifiers, there's stuff going on. But I feel like so many people expected this game to be like an esports titan by now, which, although unrealistic, people did expect it.
Yeah, I think the main thing about that is like the viewership on this game. It's really lackluster because it's just not it's not entertaining to like just the random person to watch the game. You can't really follow it like you could just like say my favorite AD is playing in League. Now I can watch him stream and I can learn how to play AD. You can't really do that in this game because it's just completely different. So like it's just weird. It's weird because like I know from my own experience when I was playing League or when I was coaching League, I looked at this game and I was like, they just killed the mobs and the mobs are helping them now. Like I'm confused. Like I got no clue what's happening.
Right.
And then and then after I actually played this game, I was like, oh, there's actually this. It requires less carry by like a one-on-one side, like one person can't carry as hard, but it requires a lot of teamwork and a lot of just being smart and rotations and all this stuff. Drafting is really huge in this game. A lot of stuff that I love from other MOBAs is still a big deal in this game. It's just different, and that's new to me.
Right, or prioritized more so in this game.
Yeah,
kind of like trade-offs of.
And I don't need to worry about I don't need to outlane Faker to win in this game,
Right. In a sense, it would be out-team perform and out-draft, all these other aspects that really make the game as fun as it is. And it's my hope that with time, naturally, as it grows more from a marketable standpoint, the viewership will improve. But it's like you said, unfortunately, it's a little difficult if you're a casual or even a new player who wants to watch streams. There are very few opportunities to fully understand what's going on. I think there's a reason streamers like Chew8 and obviously more notably like Grubby, an example, have the viewership they have. It's because they're personable, they can kind of clearly depict what's going on. They're these personalities rather than these, although respectable in their own right, these like high skill players, which in League you get kind of a combo of both at the top of the Twitch world. They're great players and they're personable sometimes.
Yeah, like I know, like for me, like I tried to when the whole Maelstrom thing broke up with me, like I tried to start streaming. I streamed like at least 4 hours a day for like I think 3 months, and it just did not go anywhere. And like honestly, I don't think I'm the streamer type. I'm not an entertainer like in that sense. I don't. But I am one thing that I am is I'm super informative. Like I was the most informative stream you could probably find, but there's just people that they just don't want to watch that. Like it's just not. They don't want to learn how to get better. They just want to. They want to learn how to troll or how to how to do like fun stuff and
right. Look at this wacky Gazlo build, stuff like that.
And that's like I'm like try hard 24/7.
Right.
Like the drill sergeant. I just want everything perfect, So it doesn't work for me. So
yeah, that makes sense. And it's like we said, that that will definitely sell in League, but right now that's not exactly what a good chunk of the community wants in this game. But hopefully in time, maybe it'll shift over, because I know as a viewer, that was always what I looked for in streams. That's why actually originally way back when, in Alpha and such, I watched your stream, and I watched, other, I guess at that point, players that I knew to be good, because I wanted boot camp. I wanted what is the best information you can give me right now. Mm. So, fingers crossed that it shifts to that, but to each their own. So on the tail end of this, because we are getting towards wrapping up, I wanted to open it up to a couple of Reddit questions I took. I posted a little usual Reddit thread, seeing what questions people had for you, and these kind of stuck out as the most interesting. So first off, someone asked, what kind of support should Blizzard add to the roster? I suppose next is the better way to spin this question. Who do you think right now would be stylistically the next best addition to the game?
I played Priest in WoW, so I've been waiting for a Priest. That's, Discipline Priest would be cool. I don't know how, maybe a really low cooldown pain suppression with AoE Fear. I don't know, but it would be hard. It would be hard because Mana Burn's such a big part of his kit, and Power Word Shield feels like Tassadar Shield. So I don't know how they would do it, but it would be cool if they could fit in a Priest there. Maybe make a hybrid Priest that is you can turn into Shadow Priest and go DPS or something, and you can switch back and forth. That would be cool too. I don't know.
That would be sick. That would be an awesome design. Probably get a different kit for each. That would be sick. Mm-hmm. Or a variating kit. That would be interesting. Do you think functionality wise a Priest would be the next best thing for the game? You think they should add, I guess, kind of just another heal bot, or do you think that they should spin it in a way that it's a little more diverse in terms of function?
Just trying to think about what kind of supports they could put in the game. I honestly, I think they've already got to the point where shields and heals that there's all different kinds now. I don't think there's going to be anything brand new that you can put into the game. So I think it's just about putting in a support that is viable, that does things well. He can do things as long as he's he just needs to be viable and not just not Lily level trash,
Right, right.
Yeah,
not the absolute dumpster.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, if I was gonna put a Priest in the game, obviously Power Word Shield's huge. You have to have him have Power Word Shield, and then you have to have I don't know. Maybe the bounce heal or something that he has. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't want to give him just a regular heal.
Cascade.
That's boring. Yeah, and then maybe AoE Fear or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that would be cool. And then I don't know what his passive would be. Maybe it's the Shadow Fiend that gives him mana back. I don't know. Something like that. Just anything that would be viable in this game, but not it. Just he has to feel a lot different than the other sports. Because I don't want my Priest to feel like a Tassadar. Even though they're both about shielding. A Priest is a shield bot. And at least when I played WoW, he was a shield bot and a Mana Burn bot. That's pretty much all I did. But
yeah,
so we'll see.
That makes sense. So something that would dynamically impact the game, but wouldn't necessarily feel like another heal or shield bot. Wouldn't feel like everything else is already out there.
Yeah, because I don't know. I honestly don't know how they will do it. Because where they're at right now in the game, you have to have healing. There's just no way. Even if you're on Tassadar, I feel like you have to run the lifesteal on Tassadar at 4. It just feels you just feel so weak if your team doesn't have heals. The game is so. I feel like it's past the point where you just can't have heals now. So you just have to give if you have the Priest he's got to have something that sets him apart for the other supports if you're not going to give him good heals. Make his Power Word Shield good. Maybe make him have I was thinking maybe make him have a 20-second cooldown pain suppression as his ult.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty cool. And it's
that would be sick.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, good ideas. Hopefully someone from Blizzard watches this and is check that off. Those good ideas.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Warden too because that's my favorite Warcraft hero.
That'd be sick. That'd be very sick. So I think this next question that I plucked from Reddit kind of pairs nicely since we are talking about supports. How do you feel about Cleanse? They said it's a very powerful generic talent, which is indeed true. Is it too strong to keep in the game, or do you think it's essential to keep the in terms of the support model and how support functions?
I think first of all, I think that I don't like how cleanse is on every support. I think that's like it doesn't match like the lore of the heroes, you know? Like why did the like it should like Uther should be the only one in the game with actual cleanse, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Rhaegar should have a earth what is it, tremor totem. You know, like
Yeah.
like it has AoE pulses that cleanse or something. Like why does he not have that instead of cleanse? Like it would make him so much different. And then like having heroes, then there's heroes with like Malf and Karazim, and Brightwing that have amazing level sevens that you like get shit on if you take cleanse. Like obviously they buff Monk's the least hurt out of that because he buffed him a little bit, but it's still significant. It's still a huge amount if you don't take the level 7 healing. So like it's really impactful. And then like it's almost to the point where I just don't even like I don't like playing Malfurion anymore because like he's just you have to take cleanse almost every game, and he's so weak against Mass CC and Burst. Like he's so trash right now. Like I would like, and it's Malfurion. Like he's such a huge like person in the lore of like
Yeah, he's
idols
the
and
face
stuff.
of the
He's
game.
so underpowered. Like it's just weird to me. Like I don't like how they make him weak like that. But I don't know. I honestly don't know how they would change that. I personally hate the just how the cleanse is now. I hate how they changed it, where you can pre-cleanse and it's lasts for a second.
Yeah.
It requires so much little amount of skill compared to the old cleanse that even bad players can still cleanse people, which I do not like. Anything that decreases the skill cap of execution is worse for better players like the top players like me. Like the old cleanse where it was just a cleanse that gave you it was like a League of Legends cleanse, like
Yeah.
cleansed instantly and then it gave you the relentlessness for like 2 seconds or 1 second. I don't remember, but like
I think
it was so much better to me because you could see the difference of the caliber of supports with the way that they cleanse. And now it's just like oh, he's gonna get stunned. Let me like pre-cleanse him, or let me pre-cleanse the ETC who's mosh pitting so you can't gust him. Like it's just like
Yeah.
it allows for plays, but like that just it doesn't make sense to me why cleanse would last a second. Like that's not how it works in WoW. That's not how the cleanse works in my in any other MOBA. So I don't know why it does that. I know they changed. They changed it because like the CC meta was huge back when
Yes,
back when
it was
they
like the
changed.
Band-Aid to stun meta
Yeah,
for a
but
little
like
bit.
I'd rather they have put DRs in the game than change cleanse to how it is now. Personally, I don't. You should get I think you should get hit by DRs if you're stacking CC. Like that would be much better. And what I mean by that is like if like say you get stunned by Mirrodin's 1.5 and then you get stunned by Uther is 1 second. The Uther stun would now be half a second because he was already stunned for a certain. And then after the first stun, there's a cooldown, like a global cooldown of when the DR will run off, and then you can stun again and get a full duration. Some like it's how they do it in WoW, pretty much.
Right. I think that's a great idea and definitely something they should look into implicating. I think it would make a healthier game state because, like you said, cleanse, although allows for plays, it does decrease the skill cap on making certain plays. It's very easy to just cleanse an ETC or pre-cleanse an ETC who's about to mosh and not get hit with a gust or something that would interrupt the mosh. So I think that would be a great way to do it.
Another thing I'd say is like I don't like how they're changing some of the supports to be like just like stay in the back and heal. Like I hate that. Like it's cool for like medic, right? That's his role. That's her role.
Right.
Like when you have heroes like Rhaegar, who obviously was just super overpowered to where you could just go in and melee and kill people. Like when you have that, and then but then you nerf all of that, and you put it to where he has to just stay in the back and heal and throw shields on people. Like it's once again, it's like first of all, I wouldn't say it's taking away from the skill level of the hero because like you still need good positioning because you can't ancestral yourself, but it's taking away like the lore fact when you think about of a shaman that can feral lunge. You think, oh, maybe I can go in, I can be part of the fight, but like this is just not the case anymore. Like you literally cannot go in and auto to someone if it's ever unsafe. You just can't do it anymore at the highest level, or you just get killed.
Right.
And it just seems like a super weird change. Like I know it was for balances, but it just seems like off from the lore. So like I don't like that either. So
makes sense. I think that's a good whole take on Cleanse and kind of some of the sports surrounding it and changes surrounding it. So there's one last question I plucked from Reddit, and this one is a little more personal. And what it says is, true or not, you're known for having a temper, so they say. And personally, I heard you dress down McIntyre pretty roughly for accidentally picking the wrong ult during a SEL game. Do you feel like your temper often gets the better of you? Do you feel like that's an aspect of your character that's been over-exaggerated by fans? And more importantly, do you feel that the nature of criticism on a pro esports team negatively or positively impacts you? Do you think that criticism is constructive or more so harmful? That's kind of the whole gist of what they had to say.
Well, first, anyone that's played with me or knows me knows that I'm a super serious guy. So like, I don't like it. Like, even if I'm playing like an SEL game, like if someone is fucking around or like picking troll ults, I'll just get angry at them. Like, it's how I've always been. I've always been like serious, try hard. Never want to fuck around, never want to waste time. I don't enjoy losing, and I don't enjoy like playing stuff that has like if you're trying something because you explain to me beforehand, oh, I think this might have good potential, let's try it out and see if it works, then that's a totally different story than when you just like either misclick the ult or you're just like trolling around with a different ult. Like, that's a total different situation for me. I do think it's super exaggerated, like my temper. Like, I do have a temper, but it's pretty, I don't know. I played with a lot of people in HOTS. They all know my temper, so I don't think it's like really bad or anything. It's just that like I'm really passionate about the game, and I don't like bullshit, and I guess like I'm really like real, and I should sometimes like when I should it would be better even for my publicity or my popularity if I kept my mouth shut. I'll still say something, and that's just, I've just always been like that. So one thing you'll get from me is that I'm probably the most real person you're ever going to meet in esports, because I just don't bullshit anybody. So
I mean, that's a good thing. That's something that positively impacts esports.
I hope it's a good thing. Like, I could have been, honestly, I probably could have been a lot more popular if I just kept my mouth shut and was nice to everybody, but, that's not me. Like, there's so many people, even in the hot scene, that are just, like, super two-faced. They shit talk, a lot of people behind their backs, but they're popular, they're popular in the, like, on Reddit, and they're popular in the community.
Right.
But a lot of people that are in the scene know how they really are. And, it's just... That's just how that's esports and politics. It's always been like that. So
yeah,
it's
nothing new, but it's better to be real in the end, I would say.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the way to go. I think more people behaving like that would positively impact esports instead of just kind of shaking hands, kissing babies, putting on a smile.
The way that I see it is just like, I'm just too fucking old to be dealing.
Right.
To be like dealing with like when like some little like I don't know, like I just remember like. One time, one of the players from another top team like trolled me in an SEL game. I went off on him because like he just literally just trolled me and lost the game on purpose, and it's just like I'm not okay with that, and I'm gonna let you know that, and like everyone's just like, Ken, calm down. It's like, no, I'm gonna let them know that, so like that's just how I am. Like I don't I just don't like being fucked with and all that stuff. Like I've always been serious, and that's just my character. That's my personality. So that's how I've always been.
Right. Well, a good way to be, I'd say. Better be true to yourself. And I just wanted to quickly, before we wrap this up, tackle the second part of that question, and that was, how do you feel kind of the nature of criticism impacts? I guess the better way to swing this is, how does it impact you? Do you handle criticism constructively, or do you feel it's more so harmful? When you're wrong, when you make a mistake, you rather just do your thing.
I think I'm really good at handling constructive criticism from people where I actually like want to know what they think, like my teammates, my friends, or but when it's just like random trolls, like I just ignore it, because it just doesn't what is some like troll talking shit? It's not going to do anything to me. I don't even process it. I've been through like I'll say one thing, the Heroes of the Storm community is so much more awesome and chill. Like, I think it's because it's just like it's an older community, if I had to guess, compared to League of Legends community. But like it's like I've gotten so much shit from like so many haters in the League community that it's just, I'm so used to it. It's whatever. It just passes me. I don't even care anymore.
Yeah,
But,
if
like,
you can
but-
survive that scene, you can probably survive any. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's filled with just fucking shit
Yeah, I mean,
posting.
I've been
teams.
around forever, man. Like, it's just, it's nothing. Like, I actually have to say, like, honestly, the amount of people that like the Redditors on Heroes that like shit talk and stuff, like they're usually league fanboys that are just over on this Reddit for some reason. It's weird.
Yeah, they don't actually really know what's good with the game. They're just
Yeah,
talking shit
like-
to talk shit.
Exactly. It's just like, why are you even here? It's
Yeah,
it's weird, but like I think most of the people that actually genuinely like Heroes and they're Heroes fans, they appreciate the players and stuff, and they enjoy watching us. So that's super cool. I really like all the fans that I've met have been they've just been really cool. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I will say I think the people who really do care, the people who like really actually care about Heroes and follow competitively beyond just big events, I think even when they do have something to say on Reddit, even if it be negative, it's usually more constructive.
you can also tell if it's just sincere.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's sincere, like a sincere fan, like you can just tell by how they write it usually, or if it's just someone that's just like, go just talking shit. You're just like, I just think anyone that's just like the random trolls, I just ignore them because like,
Yeah,
what's the point of like how
entertaining that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no point. I ignore them for my like their being. Like I just ignore like they're not existing.
yeah. That's a good way to go about it. Screw them. They're not important.
Pretty
Doesn't
much.
matter. You do you. So I think that's where we're going to wrap this up. So lastly, I just wanted to open this up to you. Any words to your fans, supporters of Naventic, yourself, any shout-outs? The floor is totally yours right now.
First off, shout out to my teammates for dealing with me. I know I'm hard sometimes. I appreciate it. I love you guys. Shout out to my manager Pat. He's awesome. Taza, for any of you guys that know, follow him on Twitter.
Good guy.
He's
That's good.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He does a lot of hard work for us, and he's great at his job. Shout out to Naventic for allowing me to do this because it's not easy paying the bills when you play video games, right? So thanks to those guys for helping us out. We're gonna help. Like I hope there's just big things ahead for the organization that we continue to grow. I want to thank Jeff Rupert he got me the awesome Void Speeder mount before Korea, so another shout out to him. I got to shout him out all the time, and just thank you to all the fans. Like I just it helps having fans, and I really enjoy hearing what you guys have to say. I know everyone wants me to be making more workout videos, but my gym's like super strict on that because I go to this like super expensive gym now, and like they're really strict on recording. But I'll try to sneak some videos in for you guys because I know you guys like them. So, all right, I'll see you guys next time.
Awesome. Good stuff. And of course, thank you for being here, buddy. This was great.
Thanks
For
for having me.
more, of course, for any and all things Heroes of the Storm esports, be sure to click the good old subscribe button. If you like this interview, of course, thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down, but say why instead of being just an anonymous thumbs down. This has been Nexus Chatter. Thank you so much.